So here's the 4 decisions that allowed me to hit 150 grand a month. Back when I was 19, I'm 23 right now, a couple of years back, it was about 100 grand a month in profit. Okay, always talk about profit. And guys, these decisions and these distinctions and changes in me and my life really allowed me to hit this. And I think if you implement this for yourself and you take the lessons and the thought behind the decisions, that you'll be able to really replicate similar levels of success. Okay, so starting with number 1, which is not the most important, but was definitely something that set me up to be able to do all of these things in the first place. And it was actually breaking up with my girlfriend. Okay, I'm sorry to say, it was a great relationship. However, within this relationship, it was just not a good time for me to be in a relationship. Okay, this was actually before any real business stuff started happening and before I was actually working on myself, but it really allowed me to start doing that. Okay, because I was in this relationship when I was 16, 17-ish, and it was a relationship that was very, very comfortable for me. Okay, she was actually an amazing girl, but it was something where I wasn't seeing myself really grow. I wasn't focused on myself enough, and I just had to make a change. I had to break up and be, out into the open world again, having to improve myself, having to rely on myself for my own emotions and good feelings. And that really, once I broke up, that really allowed me to move into this self-development, self-actualization, if I may, of business, self-development, etc. Okay, so that really set me up. Going on to the second decision, which was actually when I found out about business, okay, when I was about 18 years old, I found out that I could actually start a business. I could actually make money, servicing clients. I started my first business, marketing agency. And the second decision that really, really changed my life was dropping out of high school. Okay, and I did this when I was 18, and I had actually already been in high school for about 6.5 years or something. Okay, because in my country of origin, which is the Netherlands, you are in high school for anywhere between 5 to 6 years or something. And I had to redo a class, which is why I stayed an extra year before people start hating on me for that shit. However, I dropped out right before, 3 months before exams would be, starting. And a lot of people said that I was mental, right, for doing this because I gave up essentially all these 7 years. But the analogy that I always thought and that I always gave people is listen, you're playing poker, right? And let's say that you're in the last round, but you know for sure that you're gonna lose, but you already put in 50 grand, okay? 50 grand. Are you still gonna call, let's say that round you need to call another 10 grand to be able to see the cards and see if you won or not, but if you already really know that you lost, right? Let's say the other kid gave you a tell or something. Are you still gonna put in that 10 grand to see? No, because that would be an emotional decision, right? So if you think of economics, there's something called a sunk cost. And that just means being okay with whatever the cost has already been. Okay, that shouldn't attribute a factor in your decision making as of right now. Okay, so take that from it. I'm not recommending anyone drop out of high school or anything. I'm just recommending the sunk cost principle to apply that in your life in areas where you may have done that. Okay, so getting us to number 3, quitting alcohol. Okay, and this was a major, major decision for me, and it was a major, major attributor to my success back in the day. Because when I quit alcohol, this was really when I dropped out of high school at this point. I broke it up with my girlfriend 2 years before that, right? And I was all, trying to get this success and stuff like that. And I was saying I was gonna do all this shit, and I started my business at that point in time, and I did already have some level of success, but I wasn't really getting anywhere significant, right? So essentially, I decided at some point, listen, Boyd, you dropped out of high school, okay? You ain't got nothing going for you. At that point in time, I was literally sleeping on friends' couches because, I wasn't living at home. It was just, at that point, not much good had come from it yet. So I decided, listen, I'm gonna cut out alcohol, drugs, any shit like that is gonna distract me and put me in a fun state because I don't deserve that yet. Until I make at least 3 to 4 grand a month in profit, which would just give me, a complete freedom at that point in time. It was a lot of money for me. I'm not gonna drink at all. Okay, now I would still actually go out a bit and I would still socialize and stuff like that. Not a whole lot, but that did 2 things for me. Number 1, it taught me how to have fun sober, okay? Which is an extremely, extremely valuable skill because you learn to manage your own state. And number two, it allowed me to really focus and dial in on one thing, because what drinking did for me every single weekend is it would really ruin the momentum that I had already built starting my business, working during the week, doing meetings, doing sales, stuff like that. And then we'd go drinking on Friday, my routine would be all messed up, and I would just not get anywhere after that. I would have to restart my momentum again on Monday. Okay, it taught me about this momentum. It taught me about if you stop at some point, meaning a whole weekend, and then you got to start again on Monday, it takes more energy to start on Monday than it does the previous week to finish the whole damn week. If you keep that momentum going and going, okay? So that's momentum energy versus starter energy. Like if you have to push, if you've ever had a broke down car, you have to push the car, the first like 20 meters or whatever is going to be super hard to get it going. But then once it's rolling, you can just push it along with one hand, right? It doesn't take any energy. So you don't want to be stopping and starting the whole damn time. You want to keep the momentum going and keep running it up. And then decision number 4, which in my opinion might be one of the most important ones, and honestly is such an extreme fucking life hack for young entrepreneurs and really anyone trying to make something of themselves. That the identity that you hold of yourself and that you operate from, okay, being I am a rich person, or I'm a really confident person, or I'm really outgoing and charismatic, or I'm a winner instead of a loser. All these types of things, these identities, are really what's going to propel you to success, right? Because those identities, how you are being, essentially where you're coming from in life, that really creates your behavior, but not just your behavior, but also how you do that behavior, right? And that ultimately creates the success. So your childhood has usually not given you those identities that you need for success. Otherwise, you would probably already have a pretty seamless way to success, right? So most people don't have that. And where you grew up really holds like a lot of ties to those old identities, habits, and belief systems, okay? So if you move out of your home country, especially out of your hometown, but like out of your home country is even better, then you're just gonna be in a new environment and you're gonna be capable of constructing a completely new identity and really leveling yourself up as a person. You're gonna get around new people, you're gonna learn new things, but the most important thing is you're gonna be out of that anchor, I'd say, anchor of all your habits, old beliefs, etc., and identity especially. Because in that new environment, you're in a new environment, a blank sheet of paper, and that also goes for your identity that you can then rewrite and build on top of from there. Okay, and for me, what I did is when I started making that money, the 3 to 4 grand a month, I had already done these 3 decisions that I've told you in this video up until this point. And then I had the money. And actually how it came about was funny. I was trying to rent an apartment in Amsterdam, but people just wouldn't let me because I thought, oh, I'm making like 4 grand a month in profit. I should be able to rent an apartment for like 2 grand a month, which obviously probably not the smartest idea, but I wanted to do that at the time anyways. But landlords just wouldn't take me because I was just some kid, like 18 years old, high school dropout, and I had like a couple months of business numbers to go off of, right? Which just doesn't give them a lot of guarantee. So that wouldn't happen for me. And so that's why I moved at that point to Bali for like 6 months. And then I really 10x'd my business. And then I got to about, 30 grand a month. And then after that, I kept growing. I moved to LA, lived there for a bit, which is great. And then, I grew my business more and more and more. And I kept on moving to different places. And now, I stay in LA, I stay in Dubai, and a few other places as well. So that being said, implement these strategies, these decisions, not as much for yourself point blank. Never listen to anything I say, just think for yourself. But just realize and understand the thinking behind it and the reasons why they gave me so much success, and you'll be able to implement the same for you, okay? So go crush it, my friend. I'll see you in the next one. Leave a like, leave a comment, and of course, subscribe.